What's going on, guys? Gomes here back again on another MLB The Show 18 Diamond Dynasty video, and today we are going to be talking, of course, about the new confirmed Immortals into MLB The Show 18. Of course, if you did miss my previous video that was a couple days ago, I'll throw the screenshot back on the screen right now, but basically MLB The Show did confirm that they're having at minimum 2 brand new Immortals coming into the game. Of course, that could be more than 2, but at the very least, at the bare minimum, we will be getting 2 new Immortal players. But if you guys have been enjoying the content, make sure to hit that sub button, man. Really would appreciate it. We're on the grind to 5K, so each and every person, I really do appreciate you. I love you guys to death. I try to say that every don't but I really hope that you guys do mean that. Of course, with what happened yesterday, don't take anything for granted, guys. Don't take anybody. We're all the family in these communities. We all come together. But getting into this video now, basically what I've been doing is I've been rewatching some of like the MLB streams and stuff like that, and just to get all of the information and the knowledge that they kind of told us in the first initial live streams and everything like that. So on my phone, I have some notes that I'm going to be looking at here with some quotes that they said and some information that we should be aware of. The first one that I gathered is there are 1 or a couple per position. Of course, you could say a couple per position could be referring to the starting pitchers and stuff like that, which I mean, obviously there is a couple there, but it really depends. Of course, we already know Ted Williams is going to be an Immortal once again. I'll throw a screenshot on there right now because some people might not believe me, even though we've talked about it a lot on this channel, and I think most people are generally aware that Ted Williams is going to be an Immortal. Hell, he's not in the game yet. Obviously, he will be, so we will be getting him. So at the very least, we're still going to get 1 more Immortal, and that's going to be really interesting who it is. But the other stuff that I gathered, they said Immortals will never be in packs or on the market. I know a lot of people had some speculation that they'd maybe put a in-pack only Immortal or something like that. It's looking like that's not going to be the case, and if it can't be on the market, it's not going to be a BR reward, which I was pretty sure it wouldn't be, and it's not going to be ranked seasons or events either. So if it can't be in packs and it can't be on the marketplace, it cannot be in any of these. So that would pretty much mean it would have to be a ticket counter or a specific program. Like I said, I really doubt that it will be a separate Immortal program like this, just because you know, they'd have to create new career arcs and everything like that, which I just don't see happening. So you have to keep that in mind. Next up, there are different versions of Immortals. And granted, once again, this could be taken that you know, there are different versions of like this card here, but for example, if you look at the Vladimir Guerrero, of course that's not in the ticket counter right now, but I believe it's an Expos card as well, so we're gonna go to the Nationals. He does have another card that is not an Immortal, of course, right here. So this is just one example, and I'm sure because really the way we're going, other than Ted Williams, there's not any Immortal player that doesn't or would be an Immortal player that doesn't have a card in the game right now. So the whole concept that I believed and everybody believed for so long, that Immortals and career arcs would not have prior cards, obviously that is thrown out the window for this, because other than Ted Williams, they already said they are not adding any new legends into the game. They had 30 of 30 already, 30 new legends already, all 30 have been introduced. So we will not be getting A-Rod, we're not getting Bonds, we're not getting Big Papi. Hopefully next year we can get some of those legends, but this year it is just not going to happen. And then finally, also keep note that career arcs, they said, are their highest cards, so we're not going to get any Immortal Frank Thomas, any Immortal Albert Bell, Johnny Bench, or anything like that. Even though honestly, like Johnny Bench and Mike Schmidt definitely could have been Immortals in my opinion. I don't know. I've always heard that debate whether or not Mike Schmidt or Chipper Jones should have changed places, and Mike Schmidt should have been the Immortal. I'm personally fine either way. I think Chipper Jones is more appealing gameplay-wise, so I think it's kind of a good decision they did that. But let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about that. But of course, I do have my predictions on who I think is going to get the Immortal cards, because of course they said at least 2. And one of them is going to be Ted Williams. That's just how it is. We know Ted Williams is coming. And like I said before, I would imagine it's going to look a lot like Babe Ruth. It's honestly, it's going to look almost identical, and that's a reason why I sent in my recent wishlist video. If you guys have not checked that out, make sure to do so. They need to add in more attributes because Ted Williams is going to look the same. You know, he's going to have about, you know, mediocre speed, average defense, and he's going to have near the max on all hitting stats, and he's a lefty, of course, too. He probably won't be able to play first base like Babe Ruth, but otherwise it's going to be like the same card. So if they add in more attributes, it just can differentiate, you know, the card so they don't play the same. I hope they end up doing that next year. Fingers crossed. But moving on to who I think can get Immortal players, I have a list of some guys, some possible names, and some names, well, some names that I think and some names that a lot of other people in the community think, and I'll give you guys my opinion on each and every one of them. The first one, we're just going to start off with Mike Trout. Now, Mike Trout is an interesting one because, of course, he is a live series player. Albert Pujols is a live series player too as well, so it's not completely impossible for that reason. Now, apparently, there was a rumor that there was a leaked Trout and Justin Verlander Immortal. And I said this before in the comment section if you guys didn't check it out. I could see Mike Trout getting an Immortal. I could not see Justin Verlander getting an Immortal. Just for the fact that there's career arcs. You know, like a lot of these pitchers are more legendary than Justin Verlander. So it would be very hard to believe that he would get one. But Mike Trout, obviously, I get it because, you know, this is him right now, and you can argue this is at his best right now. How would they really, you know, make him up to a 99? Simply, they would have it be a projection or, you know, like a grand total of his Hall of Fame career of what they think it'll be, or they might just blow up his stats, which personally I wouldn't hate it. I could definitely see it happening though. So once again, for all of these guys and anybody in between, let me know down below in the comments your thoughts and opinions on each and every one of them, as well as some guys that you think are going to get an Immortal this year. Next up is Reggie Jackson. I think he has only one card. I think it's like an Angel or Oakland A. I'm pretty sure. Okay, yeah, he has one card. Of course, it's not very good. Obviously, he's gonna get a better card than this, but I think he definitely could be an Immortal, and the fact that we haven't seen a good card of him is a good chance. Of course, I think there's also a good chance that he could be a postseason program, so there could be a postseason, you know, Reggie Jackson Immortal coming out like in October, November. I think that has a very high chance of happening. Because Mr. October, you know, the thing about him is he had like 70 speed last year, you know, like 75, 80 defense, and of course, you know, he's gonna have really good hitting stats. The clutch and discipline are also gonna be high, boosting up his overall. So I think this is very, very likely, and personally, I would be a big fan of this card because, like I said, he'd have a good amount of speed, and he is a good lefty bat as well. Next up, we're going to be talking about Ichiro. I've heard some people talk about Ichiro. I looked up his stats. There was one year, I think the highest slugging percentage he had was like 475. They could make a better Ichiro card, I think. This is obviously his Rookie of the Year / MVP year in 2001. They could make a better one with a little bit more power from 2004, but as far as Immortal, you know, he is max contact almost, you know, like max defense, max speed. He would have to have like 70 power each ways for him to be an Immortal player. So for him to hit that 99 overall. So it would be cool, but I just don't see it. And yeah, I just don't see that happening. Moving on to Miguel Cabrera. Once again, I don't see it. This is his Triple Crown year, so his best year that he had in the majors, and you know, he'd have to move up 7 overall to get to an Immortal. Like, you know, obviously, you know, when he was with the Marlins, he would have had a little bit more speed, because keep in mind, Immortals keep track of the highest they ever did something at. So, you know, like his best defensive year, his best speed year, his best contact year, his best power year. But this was his best power year. This was his best, or if not, it was his second best. It's unfortunate because they really nerfed this card from last year. You know, 102 and 77 powers. It's not very good, especially considering he doesn't have speed and he's not a great defender. So, I mean, unfortunately, he would definitely be a possibility, but, you know, for those reasons, I really just do not see it happening. Next up is Tony Gwynn. Now, Tony Gwynn also, Of course, I know his card in the game this year is very underwhelming for a lot of people. Obviously, you guys can tell why. He doesn't really have the power. And once again, it's kind of going to be an Ichiro situation. He's 6 overalls away from 99. You know, he definitely did have better power years than this, but you know, even if they gave him like 60 power both ways, he still would not hit the 99 because, you know, this is probably one of his best speed and defensive years. So once again, like, to go up all those overalls, it just really is not there. And it sucks because there are some of the best hitters ever that weren't power hitters, but you know, power plays a big factor in overall, of course, this year. So for those reasons, once again, I just do not see that happening. And then the final suit, really, one of them is for the Royals, and that's George Brett. Now, the thing about George Brett is a lot of people, including myself, I think he will be in Conquest, of course. You know, in Conquest Destiny, we have this mystery one for Royalty with the 100 and clutch. Now, some people say that's going to be Salvador Perez, which does have a chance, of course. You know, the Royals won the World Series a couple years back, which if you're just following the MLB now, you'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? I just saw their standings. They did not win a World Series recently. Yes, they did. So that's a possibility. I still think it's going to be George Brett because, you know, I don't think they'd make like a 91, 92 Salvador Perez card. Could be wrong, but George Brett, he definitely could be an Immortal. Once again, he had much better power years than this. But I just don't know if his overall would go up to a 99, and I think his card will be in the Conquest, so I don't think George Brett is going to get it. And then finally, one last guy that I want to talk about, and that is Ralph Kiner. I believe he has a card for the Pirates already, right? I believe so. If not, I have no idea where Ralph Kiner is going to be. Oh my god, so this is gonna be weird. This is gonna be frustrating. Bear with me. Is he a Tiger possibly? Okay, that's LK line. Oh my god, Ralph Kiner's gotta be in the game, right? I'm pretty sure he is. But if Ralph Kiner's not in the game, that could possibly mean that he's gonna be an Immortal for that reason. Like I said, that he doesn't have another card, so I might just be blind. If I'm missing a Ralph Kiner legend card, please let me know, because I can't find it right now. I thought he had a Pirates card, but I guess not, unless it's on the Cubs. That's maybe, is it on the Cubs? I think possibly. Ralph Kiner, okay, here we go. I knew I had this card before, but Ralph Kiner, he would have a lot of pop, of course. Once again, he wouldn't have the best fielding and the best defense, but he would be a really good hitter. So I think really, when it comes down to it, Ted Williams, he's a lock, he's guaranteed. And then Reggie Jackson is the next most likely. Ralph Kiner and Mike Trout are probably tied, so I think if I had to complete guess, if I had to, you know, put my life on the line for this, I would say Ted Williams and Reggie Jackson are gonna be 2 Immortals, and those are gonna be the only 2. But Ralph Kiner and Mike Trout are really the only 2 that I see possible. I didn't really look at starting pitchers for this, and honestly, I hope they don't add starting pitchers, to be honest with you. Just I think we could all agree with that. I think we would all rather have some position players. Yes, I know there are especially a lack of lefties starting pitchers this year, but I mean, the thing about starters with me, and the reason why I don't like buying starting pitchers, is because you get to use them 1 out of 5 times, maybe. There's been times where I don't use a starter for 10, 20 games. So that's the reason why I would really rather they didn't do starting pitchers. But nonetheless, those are the only guys that I really see possible to get any Immortal player. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. Who do you guys think are going to get the Immortal players? Because of course now they finally shed some light on us, and we do know that there are more and multiple coming. So let me know down below in the comments as always about that. But if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like down below. I love all you guys to death. Hope you guys have a great day. And there you guys comes out. Yeah.